Welcome to Wheels, Deals, and Meals, where we talk all things good food, good business, and good cars. And now, here is your host, Arnold Garcia, founder and CEO of Petra Automotive Products. Let's roll.
All right, we are back in our extended edition. Louis, who is part owner of this restaurant, along with Mark, the Refuge Steakhouse and Bourbon Bar. This is a place that my family and I come to all the time. Louis knows it. We have a waiter that we love, Nick, so we do a shout out to Nick as well, who we always try to get on board. This place is a gem in the Woodlands, Texas. If you're ever around here or you just want to come try this place. You're going to be surprised how good this food is. So Louis, thank you for letting us do the show here.
Oh, you're welcome, my friend.
Thank you for being part of this. So tell us, what do we have here?
Yes.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the food that we have. We're kind of more southern style, so we have our appetizer plate right there. Starting off with the first one, we have a little bit of sea scallops wrapped around with a little bit of bacon, a little bit of grits on the bottom with the nice little Tennessee barbecue sauce on top of that. Then we have a little avocado cream on the bottom with a little crab cake and a little bit of potato sticks on there. Then we have our little 12-hour poppers that we do. It's actually 12-hour short rib that we go ahead and fill with the jalapeno, a little cream cheese on there. Then we have our fried green tomatoes with a nice little bit of a red sauce and a little bit of gorgonzola cheese.
When we were trying to figure out what to get for appetizers, this kind of covers it right here.
Everything.
This is
That's what we want. We want somebody to be able to try a little bit of all of our
Right.
appetizers that we do have on there.
all right. Well, let's start before you go on to the other place. Let's start here. Laura, grab something for everyone.
All right. So are we splitting each one of these, or?
We can. You can just grab one. Let's do it. Let's do a split. We'll do a
I want
split.
to split
All right.
because I have to have a fried green tomato.
Louis, are you gonna get some?
No, because I'm going to be running around, so
You want to talk while we eat? All right.
that's exactly how.
I think we just cut them all in half.
Yep. Let's do that. Let's do it.
So, you start cutting.
I'll cut over here. Oop, this is a little bit harder.
Yeah, that little crab cake still goes a little bit.
She wants the grits. I know.
I have grits over here in this plate, so go ahead and get you some grits.
All right. We'll take a little bit of this.
Mm-hmm. How do you do this with pork?
You got it. You got
Nice, nice. And is this a scallop?
it. That's
Yes,
the
it
scallop
is.
with the grits.
With the grits. Okay.
I'm gonna get a little bit. I'm gonna get a little bit of this grit here. Louis, how long you been in the restaurant business?
Oh my God, Mark and I have been together since back in 1999. That's when our career started at the Woodlands Resort.
No kidding. So at the Woodlands Resort, you guys knew each other and worked together there.
Exactly. Well, our careers started both together. We started at the restaurant called Mulligan's back in the day. Then it became Spartillo's.
I've been there.
And then right after that, we kind of started running country clubs. They asked us to run the Woodlands Country Club, so we ran the Palmer course. We also ran, the Player tournament course, which has changed name a couple of times to TPC. We ran that together until about 2006. Mark left and went over to Carlton Woods. I stayed and ran Palmer. Then in 2010, we got together again. We reunited. We always stayed in touch because we were like brothers. We went over to Carlton Woods, started running Carlton Woods. We ran the Nicholas and the Fazio until we finally started getting a little bit of an itch and said, okay, we watch everybody else doing good. Why don't we take a chance and open our own restaurant? And we opened up the Refuge Bar and Bistro on the Waterway back in 2013.
No kidding. That was y'all's first adventure. You've never been owners till then.
Till then, that was our first adventure. It was kind of one of those.
You a little freaked out?
Oh yeah, I mean, to be honest, we were freaked out, and it's actually because Mark had a daughter that was about to go to college, and so for us, we were very interested in doing this. We talked about it for several years, and we said, okay, let's put our money where our mouth is, and let's go ahead and open up a location. So we opened up the first kind of not a sports bar, but more speakeasies where we did more craft cocktails and so forth. And so we were kind of the first craft kind of cocktail bar in the Woodlands. And we did a lot of prohibition style drinks. We put live music, and we were catering towards the adult crowd. we're catering towards the 30 and up crowd because there's a lot of other bars in the area that was kind of more for teenagers and things like that.
Right.
We're looking for people that wanted to go enjoy a meal before or afterwards and come up there.
An
and
adult
have
beverage and relax a little bit.
Exactly.
Speaking of adult beverages,
Yes.
Glad that you're enjoying the old fashioned right there. Something that we're very well known for.
listen,
The
I walk in and
poppers.
Nick knows already what to get me.
Dang, he knows what to. Hey, did you try the popper?
I did. Absolutely delicious. But you know what? I was trying as Lewis is talking, I'm trying to figure out what's my favorite. But every time I took a bite of something,
It got better.
right? So like I did the crab kitchen, well, that's pretty good. Then I did the scallop, and I was like, well, that's pretty good too. Then I did the popper, right? I mean, it was all delicious. Which was your favorite?
Well, I gotta tell you, for me, I kind of like a little bit. It's like asking a parent, which was your favorite kid?
Yeah.
That's how it is for us, because we kind of come up with a lot of different menus. We try to change our menus within the season. And so we get a lot of different things from our chef that does creative things. So for me, I personally, if I'm going to get something for myself, I like the jalapeno poppers kind of get started because it's kind of a little spicy, kind of opens up your
It is.
appetite for the rest of your meals.
I think you're right about that. It kind of opens up the palate. You get a little of that little.
I know that fried green tomato.
The fragrant tomato was good too, and thick, and thick, which was a little bit different. So was that your favorite?
Popper.
The popper. All right, popper's definitely going to be
Definitely.
the top one. Everything there was good. Okay, so you guys, so you start out, so you take the plunge, and you're nervous, and a kid's going to college.
Yep.
So what happens next?
So we've been, so like I said, we kind of been in the Woodlands for a long time. That's where our careers and everything else has been, running all these different things. So the community kind of took us in and helped us a lot through everything. We were in a perfect area where there was a lot of companies like Anadarko and things like that. So it helped us promote ourselves. It was a location that was small, but good enough for us to start off with. And then 3 years into it, we started getting an itch of like we need to kind of expand to do what we're known for. And this location started kind of getting built, and then we opened up in 2017. We opened up the steakhouse with the bourbon bar. So we wanted to keep kind of our identity that we had at the other location by doing a lot of craft cocktails and doing a little more bigger menus. So what we do with our menu is we cook all our stuff fresh. Like in the room that we're in right now is our butcher room. So through those doors right there is where our butcher walks in every morning, goes and looks how many reservations we have, cuts the tenderloin fresh every day.
Oh, really?
Does our pork chops. Our pork chops, he goes and cuts them. He cuts our fish, everything else on a daily basis. So we have the food ready. I'd rather go to a table and say, I'm sorry, we ran out. Or if you ever see a gentleman in a black shirt running through here, that means we didn't cut enough. So that means we're going to be running around and cutting a little bit more.
Freshly cut. I love
I
it.
saw that earlier.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We try to get all the stuff that we need to. We also have a dry age cabinet right there where we dry age our steaks so they stay nice and fresh. So every time a customer comes in, they get the best. Because that's one of the things. When you buy certain products from certain people, they are already cut and prepared for you. So you don't know when it was cut. And it doesn't have the full flavor because it's been microbac and it's been in different things.
Agreed.
This way, you get the freshest that we can get. And we try to get the best that we can as local, much as we can from there.
You know, that's why I like this place. I mean, every time I try something, and you guys change the menu actually, I guess seasonal maybe, is that right?
That's correct. Mhm.
So you're always trying something new. And it's so good.
Thank
And
you.
it's so good.
Yep, all 4 of those were amazing.
All right, let's keep. You're going to keep talking in a minute.
no
but
problem.
Tell us what we got here.
Okay,
You
so
pork
then-
chop first?
So here's the next thing. So let me start off with the seafood.
Okay.
So you have the snapper right there with a little bit of jumbo lump crab meat on there. You do have our grits, which are our 3 cheese grits, which we added a little bit of smoked cheese, everything else onto there. And it's probably just that makes it meal by itself because it has a little bit of Gouda. Then we do the asparagus. We do the jumbo asparagus on there. We put a little bit of lemon butter sauce on top of that and a little red coulis on the side to give it a little spice. So that's the fish product that we do on there. So let me to describe the next one.
Well, no, let's eat fish first.
Yeah,
Let's
open
have
fish.
some.
All right, so 2017, you opened this place up.
That's correct. We opened up 2017, and one of the things that we did as a restaurant, you open up something with something in mind. But since we in the area that we're located with a lot of neighborhood. So we started with the menu that we thought was going to work. And it worked, but we also started listening to our guests that were coming. They go, I'm looking for something differently and so forth. So we kind of change our menu to fit the community because that's who's paying the bills, that's who's coming in and supporting us.
You listen to the customer. That's a novel idea.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that every restaurant should do is listen to the customers that do come in because they're the ones that are keeping the lights on. They're the ones that are keeping us.
That fish is great. You know what, Louis? I don't think I've ever had fish.
I know.
No?
That's why I chose the fish.
Yeah.
Every time I get you get some steak or something
Yeah,
like
steak
that.
or pork chop usually. I mean, that's really good.
That's delicious.
So our fish, like I said, we get our fish brought in like almost every day. Almost every day we get fresh fish with the exception of Sunday. Our chef goes out and looks at the fish and chooses the parts that we do want to put out there. So with our fish, we try to promote locally sourced things that we can go ahead and get out there. We have the salmon, we have the snapper, and the snapper, we done it in so many different ways. When we first started, we did it for the kind of like, I guess, the fall season. It was served in a bed of linguine with a little bit of pesto on there. So now we want to kind of take it a little more southern, kind of more things, so we added the grits on there.
What?
And the grits have made a big impact on
I'll tell you what, I'm not a grit guy. Those grits are delicious.
I love
And those grits with the crab is even more delicious.
And that's the one thing that we want to do is make sure that all our food sings together. And that's the best part about us.
Are you and Mark created this, or your executive chef has created more of it?
We all have an input. So here's one thing. We try not to say that we have titles here. It's when you come up here, you see me bus tables, clear tables. Mark does the same thing. That's why you never see me wear a jacket. Because when you wear a jacket, you kind of don't want to get dirty or things like that. I want my customers to feel like this is their home.
You're always working.
And here's the one thing. That's why we came up with the name Refuge. Because we wanted to be your refuge from the outside world. We want you to leave all your problems outside of here, come here, and enjoy good meal, drinks with friends, and everything else. And like I said, here's the one thing. Since Mark and I live here and we're part of the community, if something goes wrong, I got to look at you when we go to HB, or I see someone else, or I see you outside of here. So we want to make sure that when we get out of here, our car still has all the four wheels, hasn't been slashed because we did something wrong.
Keyed it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. Live in the community that you're going to serve.
Exactly.
That changes everything. Kind of what we're talking about dealerships in the community, right?
Right.
They are part of the community.
They are.
All right, what else you got, Louis?
Okay, so the next thing is the pork chop. Our pork chop, one of the things when we first wanted to do a pork chop, we had a lot of thoughts about it because first of all, you have Perry's down the road that is known for the pork chop. So one of the things that we decided to do, it is called a prime pork chop. So the way that we cook this is we cook it, and the fat that gets released from it, we re-inject it back into it so it stays nice and moist.
So what's that?
That is the homemade applesauce.
Okay.
So we're trying to bring you back to your childhood. When you were a kid, you had pork chops with applesauce,
There you go.
and then a little bit of fingerling potatoes on there, which kind of complement the meal and everything else.
This is actually one of my favorite plates here.
You eat this one a lot, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
This is one of your most popular ones, right?
Yes, it is. That is one of the items that through.
Who came up with this one? I like to kiss him.
I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, one of our chefs that we have here went ahead and said, "Hey, I'm not afraid of being able to go with competition with Perry's. Let's go ahead and do a pork chop. We're gonna be able to kind of do a little bit of different style and see what people think about it." And you know how it is when most people go to a steakhouse, the first thing that they think is all about the steaks. Mm-hmm. But we wanted to also, when you put a menu together and you put a seafood or you put something else on there, it has to be big enough to kind of compete with your steaks. And that's what we want.
Delicious. You get this a lot. Right?
I'm telling you, I eat it all the time. It's so good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that makes us, to me, it makes me feel happy when I'm walking around talking to a table and I see people enjoying and coming up here, because we're also kind of a celebration place where people come up here and celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and all that stuff. And we want to make sure that they feel comfortable enough to trust us enough to come down here and be able to leave happy. And to do that, we just had a couple of holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, where we get a lot of people for the first time here, and we want them to see what we are all about, because that's what we do, is we are here for our customers.
Can I just finish the pork chop?
You want it?
Go ahead, please.
have to try that, but
It's so good, isn't it?
delicious.
So good.
It really is. So how did 2020 work out for you?
Well, I gotta tell you, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I'll be honest with you. Mark and I are very believe in God and things like that. For us, it was a blessing, kind of besides everything else in disguise, because 3 days before Governor Abbott decided to shut down the restaurant, we do private barrels. So we did a barrel from Weller, and it arrived 3 days before we closed. So we were being able to do to-go orders. We were be able to sell bottles of bourbon to our customers, and the bottle of bourbon was one of those unique unicorns that's called out there. We were able to sell it. Then from there, when they said, okay, you can reopen with 25%, we came up with an idea. Our other location, the one at the waterway that I was mentioning, was considered a bar because we weren't selling enough food. So we had a bunch of musicians there that were going through the same thing. So we talked to our landlord. We were able to kind of expand our patio outside. And we brought music. We talked to our neighbors next door, and we started doing music out in the patio, which everybody enjoyed. Everybody was coming out to listen to
You still
music.
do that, right?
Yeah, we still do it. During the summer, we kind of go away a little bit because it's too hot. It's Texas. But we bring it back right after Labor Day, and we put our music out there. We have about 8 different bands that we alternate all the time.
Yeah, I've been out there when it happens.
And it's always a lot of fun because that's actually kind of our thing. When we were at the waterway, and everybody would come up there and just dance, have fun. They would dance around their table and so forth, and that's what we wanted. We wanted for everybody to be able to enjoy.
So you guys were able to adapt
Exactly.
to the situation, be creative, the barrel.
And here's a lot of things that we were able to do. It's actually, it makes you think. It makes you think, how are you going to be able to stay open? And for us, we did one of the coolest things. We were during Christmas time, which people were still afraid of doing things. We got a company called St. Luke's Hospital that always did parties with us. So that year they couldn't do a lot of parties. So what we did was we have a little curb at the front that people come up. The CEO of the company went up there. We had a bottle of wine and a little gift bag and we had a little gift card for food for them to order or come and eat whenever they wanted to. So that was their Christmas party. They would drive their car around. We would give them
That's
a great idea.
we give them the bottle of wine, and so they can enjoy it, and they would come back or either place the order to go or come and eat here at the restaurant. And so it got us to be more creative when we were doing events. Before, when you do a buffet, we just schedule someone back there serving the food, so they wouldn't have everybody touching the same utensils and so forth. And with being outside, it made us be more creative. We just did a Kentucky Derby party outside where we brought a horse in.
Did you have the hats?
Yeah, we had everybody.
You brought a real horse?
Yeah, we had a real horse outside.
No kidding.
We know
Where was
one.
my invitation? What's happening here?
So we put all the Facebook. we put all our Facebook things. So we bring in, like I said, we bring in things. We had a buffet up here. We had all these ladies dressed up in hats. All the gentlemen dressed up in. It was a lot of fun, and we had a horse out there that people can take pictures with and so forth. So we did that one, and everybody loved it. We redid it again, and so we're trying to make it an annual event. And we always try to do a lot of bourbon dinners, wine dinners here, so people can get away from their daily life,
That's great. That's good. All right, last plate.
Okay, so the last plate is something that we're kind of known for. It's our filet mignon. So this is a 6-ounce filet. And one of the things that I'm going to tell you that most people don't do is they usually cook them on a different flat top. We do ours in a wood-fired grill. So you're going to be able to taste the char. We get a lot of Texas post oak, we get a little cherry, and so we have this gigantic grill where we just throw wood into it and we cook them right there. So our chef and our cooks that are down there, they do an amazing job of getting the right temperature and everything else. Then we decided to do a little bit of broccolini. Broccolini is a little bit of broccoli with a little bit of hints of asparagus.
Yep.
And then we do a little horseradish mashed potatoes on there to give it a little bit of spice to it.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Yep. Go ahead, Arnold.
No, right. I have the wrong way.
No, you got your enough right.
I'm like, that didn't work out right. All right, here we go. And then get your mashed potatoes.
Sir.
Now, So you've been in the restaurant business in total how many years?
I would say a little bit over 20 years. A little over 20 years. We, like I said, we ran golf courses, but we were running the food and beverage part of it, which was kind of a great school for us.
What did you do before that?
What I did before that, to be honest, I was in college. I was in college and everything else. It started first of all. I enjoyed what we were doing when I was working through there, and little by little, started kind of feeling more in love, and I wanted to do this as a Latin career. Mark and I kind of talked about it, and so our paths was like Mark and I known each other. I've seen his kids grow up, and everything else. They're like my own.
And you guys have the personality of serving. You know what I mean? Which is needed in hospitality, right? You have the patience to put up with whatever happens. You know, you do it with a smile. You guys really, again, I cannot talk enough about how well trained your waiters, your staff, the ambiance here is so happy.
And you know the key thing about that is because, like I was saying to you earlier, we are a big happy family. We all know that we succeed as a team and we fail as a team. So every server that becomes part of our family knows that we all got to help each other out. We're not out just for ourselves. And so every server will touch a table. It's like sometimes we have customers, my best compliment I can get is, I don't remember which one was my server, because that means that everybody touched the table, and that's what we want. And sometimes, we want our customers to feel like.
I do know mine's Nick, just for example.
You do know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And we want our customers to have favorites.
But Nick, and all your waiters do this too. But Nick asks, "How are the kids? How's if I come here, how's Veronica? How's he remembers that stuff. He remembers my drink. Those are things that make you feel special."
Because here's the one thing, when Mark and I first started our first location, one of the things, if you remember the TV show Cheers, that's exactly what we wanted to be.
Everybody know your name?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure when you come in, we can greet you. We have your drink ready for you, things like that. We want to make sure that you feel like you're part of our family, because that's what we grew up in. We grew up in that industry that service was first.
And Luis, where were you born?
I was born in Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Mm-hmm. I'm part Hispanic, part Italian.
Part Hispanic, part Italian.
Yep.
Really? I don't think I've ever heard that. Half Guatemalan, half Italian. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, from my mom's side, I'm Italian. And my mother's last name is Princiata.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. But that, whether it's Guatemala or Italian, obviously Italian. Italians are very food people.
Mm-hmm.
Latinos are very food people.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. What about Mark? Where was Mark from?
He is part Polish. He's part
kidding.
Polish, but he was born here in Houston. From his family side, he also has a lot of restaurant background. His mother used to work for Rice University and everything else in the food environment and everything else. So we have been around that. So we have a lot of ties, that we have a lot of mirrors to see where we want to go. And when I say mirrors, is seeing other people do it, and we sometimes, so not try to recreate the wheel, just make it better and make it our own.
What's next for you guys?
Well, right now we opened up our sports bar, which is doing very well, which we call the Southern, which is a great...
Next door.
Exactly, it's just located right next door to us. It used to be the old Fuddruckers. We added a whole bunch of TVs so everybody can come out and enjoy. And that's because something that this community didn't have, where you can feel comfortable bringing your kids. Because sometimes we're kid-friendly here, but people don't feel adequate sometimes to bring their kids. So we have the other one that people kind of relax and eat. We know that people are not going to be able to eat steak every night.
After a game, go there after a game.
Exactly.
Little League or Astros or other. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a great place too. I've been there. Like I told you, the fried chicken. I love the fried chicken there.
Oh, yeah. The fried chicken, that was one of those things that we wanted to make sure that we did right. So we kind of studied a little bit. We got this pressure machine that we put all the chicken on there so it stays nice and moist. And we wanted people to just come up here and say, "Oh, it's Monday. We have the kids. We don't want to do that. Just place your order. Come and pick it up. We walk it out to you, take it, and everything else good."
You guys have done well. I mean, we wish you and pray that you have continued success. Because look, I don't know if you know this, but I like to eat.
Oh, it's a good thing. Oh, don't forget, you got to try some of the Brussels sprouts too.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, those Brussels sprouts are very good. I think it's like
This is, I believe, my wife's favorite.
is it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of people's favorite because the Brussels sprouts have a very good thing. It's like if you remember when you were a kid, they used to just kind of boil them and just little things.
Right, right.
It's like kind of funny because
You're going to like the Lubies and get
Exactly.
the boy.
exactly. It's like when you go and your dog would eat it and everything else like this. So we wanted to create something that everybody would enjoy. So we give them a nice little fry. We had a nice little sauce on it.
So
to give
crispy.
This is Veronica's favorite.
Yeah. By the way, you can taste the wood here. For sure.
Yes, on this char with the different wood. That's amazing.
And that's one thing that we wanted to do because, I mean, there's a lot of steakhouses around, but you got to find something that makes you unique. So us, to make us unique, is we go ahead and do wood fire to give it the flavor, to give it everything else.
Delicious.
That is great.
I still think my favorite's pork chop. I didn't think I'd ever say that at a steakhouse.
Look, I'm telling you, it is probably one of my favorites.
But here's the one thing is like we know that we are good for the steaks, and at the same time you have to create something that people are going to enjoy. So our pork chop is one of those things that people really do
Yeah.
get
It's
excited.
so good. It really is.
I would order that again.
All right, Louis, what do you have here?
So right here, this is something that has made the Refuge very well known with our customers and everything else. This is something that I created back when we first started. It's an infusion of different, it starts as a bourbon but ends up as a whiskey. So we have a lot of different flavors right down here. So the first one that you have right here is our Springtime Magic, which is our seasonal one. And this one, I'm gonna pass it down to you so you can try a little bit. It is peaches and honey. We get the peaches from Fredericksburg. So I drive down to
Okay.
Fredericksburg. It's a lot of fun. Buy a whole bunch of them, cook them, and then infuse them to our bourbon. I make
Infuse them.
Yes, I'm making bitters and start adding it to it. Add a little bit of honey, and the honey comes from
When did you
plants.
wake up and go, I want to be a bourbon kind of...
Well, here's the one thing. Everybody can serve.
I might like bourbon if it all tasted,
See, I told you. But
if it all tasted like that. I think I'd like bourbon.
so that's the one thing that we want to make sure that people do get the opportunity to be able to step out of the box and be able to try different things. So that's why we did that.
All right, I'll taste. I'm going to taste after you.
Okay.
You go first, I'll taste after you.
I'm good.
Okay, so the next one right here, this is the one that was actually kind of funny. You know how they say the best things come out of mistakes?
Okay.
So this one,
That is incredible.
That's incredible.
I never in my mind would think.
On a ski slope, can
No.
you imagine?
Oh, I gotta tell you, this makes like perfect things for the summer. Makes a perfect mojito.
Summer?
Perfect mojito. Perfect mojito. Makes a perfect margarita with that. You also can make
You put this
mid-julep.
instead of the tequila.
That's exactly what it is. We'd run that.
Every
We're running
mojito instead of the rum.
That's exactly correct.
This actually for rum would probably be pretty good because rum has the sugar cane and the mojito.
And so the next one that you're gonna have is called Texas Love. And like I was saying, I originally was starting because I wanted to make it into a pecan bourbon, but I forgot that pecans are a little bitter. So I went into my pantry and found some marshmallows and
I
went
think she's
ahead.
like in the springtime.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's my favorite one so far. Yeah.
Pecan's not my favorite. I'm just saying. You can definitely taste the pecan. Love it.
But wait, this tastes like...
You said marshmallow?
Yep, marshmallows. So it tastes like a praline kind of style.
Yes. That's exactly what it's...
Definitely praline.
It's a praline.
So that's what we're trying to do. Make
Louis,
it.
I have come here all this time.
You've never done
And
a
I have
flight?
never done this.
That's the one thing. It's like we have so many
Do
different
you
ones.
have flights that you do?
Oh yeah, we do. Like this is one of the flights boards that we do, which is kind of very unique, where we let you choose four.
I mean, I have a friend of mine named Pepe who's a bourbon crazy nut. I got to bring him here and do like 15 of these different ones.
Oh yeah, you got to because
Have a driver.
Have a driver, yeah.
Driver.
And then the next one that you have right here is called the True Love's First Kiss. And as you can tell, True Love's First Kiss by the name,
Smart.
it came out during Valentine's Day. So this was one that I created for my wife because my wife was at the beginning was just like you, didn't want to try bourbon. But this one has a little bit of watermelon coffee to do the barrel. It has a little bit of
Watermelon
cacao.
coffee.
So here's what
Watermelon coffee.
has a little bit of cacao to give it that chocolate flavor, and butterscotch coming from the barrel. And so this is one that people use is so versatile. They add it to coffee, they add it to ice cream to make it into a shake,
Brother, this is amazing.
Some guys add it to dark beer to give it a little extra kick too.
And you sell these?
Yes, we do.
Because I am
Did
definitely
I miss this? I mean, you got to promote this.
Thank you.
This is incredible.
And like I said, we make these different seasonal ones. The one that we just finished in March is called Leprechaun Magic. That one is Irish whiskey, bourbon, 5 pounds of mint, and chocolate. So once you try
I want that one.
it tastes like a
you
Girl
have that
Scout.
now?
We do.
You do?
Tastes like a Girl Scout cookie. It tastes like a
Thin mint.
Thin mint, exactly. I get a lot of different ideas just by looking at things and doing this stuff. So the next one is called Vanilla Honey.
Okay.
So honey is very unique because wherever the bees go, they're going to pollinate and they're going to get different flavors. So this one comes past the Renaissance Festival in Plantersville. So that's where the honeys comes in. And then the vanilla that I use is Mexican vanilla bean to be able to kind of introduce that into the flavor. So it gives it a lot of different styles. And all these drinks, you can make old fashions, you can make after dinner drinks and so forth.
It's good too.
That's good too.
So the other one that's coming out during the summer is going to be our watermelon honey. The watermelon honey was something that it took me a couple years to kind of perfect because watermelon sometimes gets a little grittiness and things like that. So I started playing around with it until I finally perfected it. So a lot of ladies like to put a little prosecco with it and just enjoy it like that. So
And you sell all of these?
Yes, we sell all of those. Yes,
Like in a bottle to take home?
bottle to take home.
I think I want one of that.
I would say that that's probably my 2 favorite, but they're
Was
all
it?
great.
Yeah, they're all.
I mean, I would
good.
say these 3 for sure.
Yeah.
I like this one too, but these are so
Unique.
unique and tasteful. I mean, they're just
Thank you.
unbelievable.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's like we do a lot of different flavors and we keep all that stuff behind the bar. Like I said, we do during the winter when you were talking about being outside during the cold weather. Sometimes we don't get here in Texas, but I created one called Winter Cheer. That is the chocolate, hazelnut, peppermint, and cinnamon. And the peppermint was...
You like all those
I
ingredients?
do. Anything with mint. Sign me up.
And so I do that during the Christmas time. Then before that, I do 2 fall, and they change all the time. I did the nutty pumpkin. So I go down to a dewberry farm, buy a couple of pumpkins, and then I cook them in pumpkin, exactly. And then I make that and give it a little bit of spice of like nutmeg, walnut, and things like that, and ginger. So it tastes just like a pumpkin pie when you're drinking it. The other one that we did this time around was the salted caramel apple, because every time you go to a fall festival, you're eating an apple. So we wanted to do that. We wanted to bring that joy. And since everything that I use is natural, the different levels of proof go a little higher sometimes. The apple one's always going to be the one that gets the highest proof, just because apples ferment.
So how do you decide what bourbon to start with?
Well, I start with 3 different ones.
Okay.
I do the first one, which is the Evans Williams Black Label. Then I use Jim Beam Bonded. Bonded is 100 proof. That's how I make my bitters. And then, since we live in Texas, I gotta represent Texas, so I use Rebecca Creek. And the main reason I use all of those because the flavors that I'm adding will complement that. And so they will actually infuse together very well and become into the perfect drink.
Louis, I've always respected you. I have a whole new level of respect for you.
Thank you.
That is incredible. All right, one last question. How do I grow a beard like that?
Gotta tell you, drink a lot of bourbon.
I tried. Listen, I'm trying.
So no.
I feel like mine grows, instead of growing like this, I feel like mine grows like this. Right? Like I already look like Santa Claus, but I look more like Santa Claus.
So let me tell you a little bit about the hair and the facial things, because in the restaurant it's not very appropriate to have the long hair and things like that. Well, my hair, I'm not sure if you see when it first started coming out here, I had the long hair, then I went to the short hair, then I went back to the long hair. It's because I let my hair grow out because I donate it.
You donate lots of love. That's awesome.
Not lots of love, but there's a couple of different organizations that I use just because they donate it and they make a wig and they make the family happy. So for me, that's one of the things that I want to do. The beer started as the No Shave November.
Yeah.
So it started with the winery donating money. However long my beer we get from the November to the following year to the November. And I quickly started realizing, oh my God, I'm getting 20 minutes of sleep, extra sleep. I don't have to get up early and shave and everything else.
Yeah.
So I was like going, I get sleep. I'll keeping it. So I decided to keep it, and that's how it's a staple that people just see me and they recognize me because of the long hair and the long beard. So the hair just keeps on growing because I'm very blessed. So I figured.
Hey, it looks great on you. It looks good, and it's a good cause. I told my kids yesterday, I said, I'm going to leave the beard out. They're looking like I'm crazy, right? Why don't you leave the beard out? Louis, thank you for having us here.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, your kindness, opening this up. Food is absolutely delicious.
Amazing.
The bourbon was incredible. And as always, your love just comes out from you. And people just need to come here and taste this food and just experience your personality and the people that are here, and Mark as well. So the Refuge Steakhouse and Bourbon Bar in the Woodlands. Come and eat this food. That pork chop is amazing. See Louis and his staff. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I want a to-go box.
I definitely take care of you.
Thank you for listening to Wheels, Deals, and Meals, your main source for all things good and fun, business, food, and cars. If you like this episode, make sure to rate us and subscribe. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please leave a message at the link below. Till next time, happy eating.